Good morning, y'all. It's Ms. Lippy. 80 degrees today. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Gigi's walking around, doing her thing. I'm doing my thing, sitting on the porch, about to fellowship with y'all. This is what we're going to call Lippy Shed Talk. I don't have a shed. I'm on the back porch. I'm actually seeing this window that with these temps, we might be able to pull the power washer out and kind of really see what the home's going to look like once it gets a good bath. Y'all, I don't think this thing's been cleaned since it was built in 1979. So I'm real curious to see what is the true color of the brick. Yeah. But right now, it's got a lot of green. Because you see on this side, we're faced with the north. You can always find your way. Just look for the mold on the grass in the woods. If you see green, that's your north side. But we're not here to talk about mold and getting lost in the woods. It's March 3rd, 2022. And most of you know, Buddy has been in oil and gas for, oh Lord, I'd say 30 years or better. But with one particular company, right at 20. So, you know, I've learned to educate myself through listening to him at work. But then I've taken that information and I have researched over the years myself to actually understand what it means as just the average Joe, the average person. Because you see, if we're not in that field, you know, we can't sometimes, or some of us can't always grasp what it all means. And that applies to really anything. You must do your own research, you know. Just don't talk behind somebody. You got to do your own research. And you have to form your own opinion. And that's what I have done. But most of you know of the speech the other night. And just my opinion, it was a joke. Said all that most want to hear. But a lot of riddling was going on. So, you know, you have to kind of dissect and form your own opinion. So it brings me to today. Our crude oil, a barrel, is over $111 a barrel today. In 2016, we were at $43.67 a barrel for crude oil in just 2016. And I made me a footnote. 2019, we were at $64 a barrel. So today we're over $111 a barrel. You say, well, I don't understand. Well, Lippy's going to sum it up in her take. We are in the worst energy crisis since 1973. I went all the way back to 1960, my era. So I wanted to go all the way back and really see when was between 60 and current times of 2022, 1973 was the year that we saw our major energy crisis. Until then, it's just went up and down. So yeah, you do the math. Look how many years we kind of just stayed steady with bumps in the road, some collapses back up. But we've never seen anything like this. So he says, and I quote, "We'll tap into the reserve." People, What does he mean we're going to tap into the reserve? That's like tapping into your savings account. No, you open the faucet up, you put people back to work, and you pump your own right here. We have all the resources we need right here, but you're going to come out and you're going to tell the people of this great country, we're going to tap into the reserve. That's stupid. That's like a home, a family. Oh, I'm not going to go to work and get deposits in my checking account to spend. We'll just live off the savings. Well, what happens to that savings account? It gets depleted. So that was the stupidest crap. So that led me to research more. The first thing we need to do is open up the pathway. Oh, I see Willie. The first thing we need to do is open up the pathway to more oil and refine more gas. Here. But that wasn't a thought, was it? So then you start asking yourself, follow the money trail. The money trail may scare you, but it may connect all the dots, kind of like following that yellow brick road. You know, there is a wizard. And there's just mainly puppets sitting in seats with big fancy titles. But there is a wizard. The last thing we need to do is continue to purchase oil from Iran and Russia. Because all we're doing is fueling financially his agenda to continuously take over other areas. Look at Ukraine. You know, you say, well, you know, we're going to put sanctions on him. Well, what sanctions? Think about it. Do they work? Very little. Because you see, if we cut off his funds, we're in trouble financially. Because you see, Russia has loans right here in the United States. So if we cut him off, he can't pay those loans that is backed by the government. So what do? You got to trot down to the basement. You got to print more money, trillions of dollars. What does that do? That brings our inflation up, the cost of fuel, the cost of groceries, the cost of housing. And it lowers our value of a dollar. I'm sick. Open up the wells here. Put people to work here. Manufacture demands here. And then we can be the exporter. You see, we can make the money. Have you looked at the GDP? It's sick. If you don't know what that is, research it. You know, we're not going to be the nation. We won't even be the country we once was. Now, can we repair it to allow it to run? Yes, we can. But we will never get back what we gave up many years ago. We just won't. Now, we can make it a better life for our children or our grandchildren, but we won't get back what us, as in your geriatrics groups, your older groups, from, say, 50 and up. Those times are gone. And we're watching history get written in a whole different format. You know, after watching that, what I was hearing is we're going to go into another back door to this new energy that's been pushed, this agenda. It's on both aisles, y'all. I'm not prejudiced to one or the other. No. Both aisles. A lot of swamp there, okay? But the director of transportation, y'all got to listen to this fool. So I quoted him, and I made sure that I went word for word, because I let the closed caption catch it, and then I listened to make sure I didn't miss anything. I've got it written down here. I want to read something to you. Quote, "We are in the middle of a transition, moving towards a different direction," end quote. What does that mean? More green? That's what it means. That's exactly what it means. So if we can keep the gas prices high and depend upon Russia for that and Iran, we can make people think going with these electric vehicles, that's the way to go. Do you know where they mine lithium at? Follow the money trail. The leading is Australia. But where is it refined at? China. You see the money trail? Do you see the money trail? So who's sleeping with who? We are weak by the eyes of the nations. We can be the strongest country in the world, but we have to have strong leadership, and we got to get these no-yos out of office across the board. That's going to be hard to do. So you say, okay, then what do we do? Well, one thing, you don't lay down. You don't become submissive. What you do is you analyze your own self. What can I do to not be so dependent? It's changing a lifestyle. And yes, you're going to hear some people, well, grow your food. Hell yeah, grow your food. But what do I say all the time? What if you're not able to grow in abundance? Then you have to cut costs somewhere else to be able to purchase your food. Yeah. So I personally would suggest give yourself, I don't know, let's just do a number of 10 days out of the month. Just 10 days. Buy nothing. I'm talking about nothing. Unless it's a medical emergency or just I have to eat that day to survive. Buy nothing. You would be surprised how hard that could be. It's very doable, but buy nothing. Could you imagine if millions bought nothing on the same day each of those 10 days? Could you imagine what we could do? Oh, it would rattle the world. I'm trying to be careful with what I say. Can you tell? Well, I've probably done screwed myself when I said China, Russia, Iran, and our president. Hell, our VP. She's such an intelligent human being. Our VP, who is in office, says, I quote because I heard her, well, you see, to put it simply, Russia is big, Ukraine is small, and they bullied Ukraine, and that's bad. I got a freaking, 4-year-old sitting in the second most important seat. Oh, we're in trouble. I can't make this up, y'all. This is true. Don't look at it in the news media. Google Her interviews, watch the videos. It's true. It's so true. You look at the address and our speaker, sweet baby Jesus. Our president is talking, oxygen moving. And she gonna stand up and rub her fingers and grin like a Chesapeake. What in the hell are we dealing with? It's like a circus. And we're all paying the price for this. But yo, it's the elite running this. They're just players. They're actors in these seats. For the most part. Not all. But for the most part. And Lippy's fed up. Lippy is fed up. I promise you, if there ever was a time to get your ducks in a row, today, start. Today. I'm not going to say it's too late, but whew, that foot's on that banana peel, y'all. Now, do Buddy and I lack in some areas? Some. But for the majority, no, we don't. But it ain't about what we are doing or not doing. I'm trying to reach the ones that say, well, why is the gas so high? Why is this happening? Why? Well, here's why. Just take what I'm saying and go research for yourself. Follow the money. The money leads you to China. The money leads you to Russia. It started, y'all, in 2020. There is a wizard. You know, I sit here and I listen to these birds sing. And I'm just ranting and raving and popping my gums. It's my freedom to sit here, drink my coffee, listen to the birds, do my rants. But are we really free? No. I think our freedom's left a long time ago, y'all. Yes, we have freedom in the sense of the word. But we are controlled. You can sit there and say, Lippy, I'm not controlled. Yeah, you are. We're all dependent. And we have been for a long time. But life had been going so good for a lot of us, really and truly. I mean, you had your setbacks and you had this and that. But really, for the most part, life was going pretty good. And then all of a sudden, bam, 2020 hit. 15 days, don't leave your house. We all complied. I did. We all complied. That was a test. Because COVID's real. COVID's real. But it was a test. How far can I push and they will obey? Well, we all did. There's nothing wrong with that because you know why? We trust in leadership. To the best of our ability, that is our leader. May not like him, but it is. So we trusted. Damn, he was dealt a bad hand of cards. Then you get Bozo up in here. Yeah, I called him an ugly name. That's my freedom. That's my preference. When I think it all needs to just be, but we can't do that. Y'all, we're stuck with some of these bozos. So it's up to us now to decide, okay, what am I going to do in my four walls? How am I going to make that work for me? Do yourself a favor. Don't be so dependent on one resource. Have 2 or 3 resources. available to you. Because that makes you independent, for the most part. Make your trips to town once a week, not every other day. If you can go a month, go a month. You know? Plant you something in your gallon milk jugs. Did you know you can just kind of cut the top off? You have a handle, drill your little holes. You got something to plant something in. I'm not kidding you. Canned goods. Cut a few holes out of them. Plant you some herbs. Just make sure you put plenty of perlite. It's got to aerate. So you see, you don't have to have the pretty. It ain't about pretty. No, it's about sustainability. And that's a big word that a lot of people throw around. But they throw it around in a sense of you got to have it all. And I'm telling you, I don't. And I am pretty well sustainable. Whether that means I check my grocery ads once a month on stuff I can't grow till the farmers open up, if they can open up, if they can get fertilizer. And I make my grocery run. I'm sustainable. Why? Because we're trying to figure out how to stretch that dollar so I can go to the store and purchase food. That's still sustainable, people. Make wise choices. Be cautious with the dollar you spend. And you don't have to have pretty to grow. And that's about all I got to say on that subject. Because that's a whole nother subject. But I came on just to talk about the oil and gas and to educate people. So our president's going to open up our reserve. Makes a whole lot of sense, don't it? The stupidest crap I ever heard. But we're going to steadily buy from Russia so we can pay for the fuel so they can take over Ukraine. And who's next on the list? Stay safe, y'all. Pay attention. And God bless.